channel it? Is it live?
Yes.
Should we share it? Would you share the link?
Oh, I didn't do that.
Hey, you should do that.
Yeah, I suppose.
Share it. I'll share it, and then I'll share it, and then we'll start it.
Well, feel free to, oh gosh, clap
What?
your heart's content.
All right, so here we go. You have train, like in that one video?
Yeah, you gotta start slow, build up the momentum.
Yep. You gotta watch your hands like a roller coaster, you know?
What?
Eddie, you're ruining my concentration. I almost had it, but you had to say what? All right, you ready? Here comes the dragon. Oh, no. It's so hard. I can't do it. My hands are burning. Ouch.
Did we ever get that picture?
What one?
The logo?
No. Probably should get that. I know he's busy with engagement stuff, but we kind of need that.
Yeah, our Facebook thing is just a really gross picture of a thing.
Ew.
That's 20 eggs. Wait, what? You done clapping now?
Yeah, my hand is starting to burn. Damn.
It looks faster than I'm actually doing it. I just know it comes this way.
Ah, can't do it.
Okay. Anyway.
What a weird noise.
How weird is it now?
Ew. Ah, I'm logging off.
All right.
It's like you're just punching it.
It's weird. Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Next Level, your home for all things video games and gaming news. I am your host, Eddie the Fishman Fisher, joined by Doug Huggum.
Doug Huggum. Is that nickname you were going to give me?
It was. Doug Huggum.
All right. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Hugging ladies, and I'm all out of gum. I don't know. You know what? Okay, time out. That's
Okay.
not a Duke Nukem quote.
No, it's not. It's a quote from a dude that he took because Duke Nukem's an idiot. I don't know who said it, though.
Roddy Piper.
Oh, you're right. Yep.
Yep.
But Duke Nukem, a lot of his lines are taken from stuff.
Well,
I understand.
I just, all this time, giving the credit to the wrong guy.
Yeah, Duke doesn't deserve any credit.
Yeah, well, yeah, not really. He's got terrible games.
Yes,
Duke Nukem. He sucks. But, he's all right.
Yeah, well, the first one was cool. You know, the old school Doom looking one. The one on PS1 was all right.
It's all about that 64 game, man.
That doesn't exist.
The third person shooter. You go into the Burger Town, and the guy's like, tell my wife I love her. And it's really, oh gosh, those games were like really long, and they didn't seem to like, they were like, man, just please keep playing. There's not much to do, but man, you should, there's a guy, you could shoot him.
Just please.
Statue of Liberty or something, you know?
Yeah. Shoot the stupid Liberty. Oh, I remember Twisted Metal 2, you could shoot the Statue of Liberty, and it would either turn it into a hot lady in a bikini or a bigger lady in a bikini.
All right.
Yep.
Well, Mr. Doug, has all the games you've been playing this week all about bikini babes?
If I played Dead or Alive 5, then yes, but I didn't.
Well, then, come on.
But man, did we play a lot of fighting games yesterday?
We did. Well, was it a lot? It was like 3, right?
That's a lot.
Okay.
I think I wanted to play JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for the stupid, but I think we were short on time. But I kind of forgot. I still really like Street Fighter 4.
I forgot you had the new JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah, it's weird, but
not happy that you own it.
It's stupid, but I like it. But it's stupid.
So I'm sorry. You said you forgot how much you like Street Fighter 4?
Yeah, it was really good. It was fun playing that again. It's been a long time. And you know what? Like I told you, I'm a believer in Killer Instinct now because it is the most dumb, stupid, combo, ridiculous fighting game, and it's cool. Got full gore in it. But Cinder sucks.
Yeah, Cinder does suck. But by believer, what do you mean by believer now? Like, what does that mean for you?
I think before I was just like, I guess Killer Instinct, but I always liked them on Super Nintendo a lot. Gold I didn't think was as good, which I remember. I think I said that yesterday. You gave me a weird look. I don't know if that's
I don't know if I'd give you a weird look. I don't know. I didn't really play much of Gold at all. I just remember when I went back to it, the Super Nintendo one doesn't have the same feel as Gold and the new one because those ones more match that like starter, linker, ender thing that they do with Killer Instinct nowadays. So
yeah, I don't know. I was kind of like, I don't know. And then when they announced Rash, which I am okay, that is a fantastic design. Because I know last week I was like, I don't know, I think it looks cool, but after seeing it in motion, his big stupid white teeth.
Yeah, seeing it in motion definitely does help.
Yeah, but no, I think the game's fun. I agree with you. All the characters kind of feel very similar. I think Season 2 characters kind of changed it up a little bit more since Iron Galaxy took over.
I would agree with that, because Cinder is hard to figure out how to chain his stuff to me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like I feel like they did a better job with Iron Galaxy differentiating how these players chain into the combos, and that's a pretty big deal, I think.
Yeah, and the music is ridiculous heavy metal, and the particle effects look really good.
Good job, Dave Ling.
Yeah, thank you, Lang. Sorry about your phone number.
That's okay.
Yeah. But no, I've been using that fight stick a lot. Man, I always forget how much I like that thing.
So, okay, where did you ordered all of your stuff from the same guy?
The buttons and the top I ordered from Focus Attack.
Oh, okay.
But the art and the plexiglass and the washer I ordered from, I think it's artshobbies.com. That's where I ordered it from. It's just one dude. Yeah, that does good work.
It's like an Etsy page for fight sticks.
Yeah! He even sells like a clear one you can build, which I think is cool to have a clear stick. You know, you can see everything in there, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like a mess of cords.
Yeah, but fight sticks are cool.
All right. Did you do anything else outside of the fighting game extravaganza yesterday?
Yeah, okay, so here we go. I bought some repro cards of 2 very expensive NES games that I did not feel like buying. Okay.
Shelling out the money for?
Thank you.
Yes. Trying to say?
Yes. DuckTales 2 regularly goes for closer to $200 these days.
Which is insane.
Little Samson, I've seen that anywhere from $500 to over $1,000.
Yeah. Did you play those? Like, I mean, did you play Little Samson specifically? I know we played DuckTales 2 before.
Yes, yeah, I did. And you know what? That game is really cool. Do you ever play it?
No, I've never touched it.
It's really cool. We should have played it, but it's weird because I think you would agree with me. Having a repro is like a half step in your collection.
Yeah, I mean, you don't own the actual game. It's basically what, like an emulator and a cartridge?
No, the ROM gets flashed completely, and the original ROM, boom, is on there. So think of it like, I don't know, a memory card.
Well, then I guess how would you decide if, or like, how would you know if you had a repo cart to begin with? What if like you found Little Samson at Goodwill? It was like $5. And you're like, whoa, holy crap! I found this game.
See, that's the problem. Some people sell repros as originals, and they're really good at hiding it. When I was talking to the guy, he goes, I get nervous about making big games for people like this because they'll try to sell it as original. And I told him, hey, if it makes you feel better, just put on the label like in the corner repro. I won't mind. And he goes, okay. So on my labels, there's really tiny font in the corner that just says repro. If that didn't have it on there, you wouldn't be able to tell at all.
But outside of that, like, it's not like the sticker on the back. There's nothing like on the cart or anything. Like,
nope, nothing. I think sometimes the boards might look different, but a lot of NES games use the same boards. I know some bigger games needed bigger boards, and those ones are very specific. But with how expensive some games are, and if you want to play it on original hardware and you don't want to emulate it, you might have to just buy a repro cart.
So well, I guess it is. I mean, if it's being flashed on a cartridge, then it must actually. It must have like the similar stuff that any NES game would have. Like if you got to wiggle it in the cart the right way and kind of act like it's the real deal.
It is the real thing. Yep.
Okay.
Which is
take out this hat.
Oh, all right. Yeah, because Little Samson has gotten so expensive, and I like DuckTales. I'm like, oh, I'll get DuckTales too. Then I found out how expensive it was, but I don't know. I like to like if someone goes, oh, Little Samson's so rare. I would like to say I have it, but it's a repro. Like, I don't think I can just say, yeah, I've got that straight up.
Yeah. I mean, you're not trying to fake someone into thinking like, oh, yeah, I totally got this stuff. I'm so rad.
I'm so sweet at collecting Little Samson.
Yeah, and that's acceptable because, yeah, I mean, you don't technically have a real Little Samson or DuckTales 2.
No. And it's funny because I was talking to the guy. His name's John Riggs. I think he's got a YouTube channel. He's a really nice guy. He was saying he knows a lot of collectors that have repros of those big games that you can't buy. but they won't say it because they would get a lot of crap for it. But if you're
yeah.
if you're trying to get every single NES game and it's like, I'm not spending 50 grand in stadium events, that's not happening, and you just get a repro, oh well,
Yeah.
But Little Samson's good. I think it was a late NES game. I think it came out in
I was like super late. Yeah, I was like, wasn't it the last NES game?
one of them. Yeah, it was either 92 or 93.
Oh wow. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty late.
But
Now, do you think like Nightmare Busters, like in terms of games, like games being flashed on stuff or whatever, but like Nightmare Busters was that Super Nintendo game that someone made for the Super Nintendo, but obviously it came out like last year or 2 years ago or whatever.
Oh, those are awesome.
Do you consider that an actual SNES game, or do you consider that some like silly offshoot thing?
I think it because if you were going for a complete Super Nintendo list, I don't think you could include that stuff. I think those are, you'd have to call them unofficial games, because like Star Fox 2, you can buy that repro cart all day, but it's not technically part of the Super Nintendo collection.
All right, fair enough.
And
that's kind of how I looked at it. I mean, I wasn't like whatever about anything Nightmare Busters. I was like, I guess. But like, I know they've done that for like Dreamcast and stuff like that too. That
I've got a Dreamcast
games for things.
Yeah, I gotta shoot them up. I can't remember the name. Yeah, but there's a game I want on my NES called Mr. Gimmick. That game's really cool. Yeah, it's cool looking, but that's another one you have to buy a repro of because it didn't come out over here, and I guess they had to do certain stuff to the board to get it to work on NESs. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but
no, putting it in the headlines. I'm sending it up to the Time Magazine.
What about BuzzFeed?
Doug Huggum says, I forgot what you said already. Mr. Gimmick had to have special stuff.
But it's weird because, I'm sure there are some people that will, you got a repro. Like, yup, but that means I can play it and you can't. So, I don't know.
Yeah. And that stuff's hard. I mean, you're never probably gonna find a Little Samson around unless you want to pay ridiculous amounts of money for something that's, I mean, I don't want to say it's not worth that, but it's not worth it. No. And because,
I have that repro of Mega Man, the Wily Wars for Genesis. That didn't come out over here.
I don't know if I knew that.
I think you did. We might have talked about it. But yeah, that game didn't come out over here.
Wily Wars sucks.
Get out of here. Wily Wars is awesome.
Isn't it like the super chuggy, crappy version of like old Mega Man games?
No, it just runs a little slower, but the music is good, the levels are good, and there's a whole new Mega Man game in it that you don't play until you beat it, and it's worth it.
How much better is it than the Game Gear game?
A lot better, because if the Game Gear game wasn't on the Game Gear, it would be a passable game. But since it's not that great. I
guess that would depend on what you mean, because if it wasn't on the Game Gear where they could pull the camera back and it ran way smoother and they added more stuff and it couldn't actually run on a Game Gear and it ran on say like an NES and it was just a normal Mega Man game, then yeah, sure, I guess I agree.
I think that's how I'm saying. But I don't know, repros, it's a weird world. And there's a couple more I want, but dude, when sometimes you just wake up in the morning and go, I'm never going to find Little Samson. I got to find someone.
Well, I mean, I guess maybe you do wake up like that. I don't know. But I don't know if I'd ever.
I wake up every morning and I'm like, I just need Super Off-Road Baja for Super Nintendo.
Little Samson hanging in the corner of my... That song sucks. I'm not even going to continue this.
That's a Little Samson music.
All right. Well, did you play anything else?
I want to say I did, but I've been digging around with Mario Galaxy. You played that. You know it's cool. It's like Spelunky, and I like that where you die and and you have to start all over again. That's cool.
Why did you wave your hands at me?
Big jazz hands, because I forgot that I played that Slender game, and it was really scary.
Oh, well, that Slender game was like a couple of years ago on PC, right? The Arrival.
Yeah, a year or two, but they added stuff to it. Like they added more levels.
All right, well, that's fair enough.
Yep. Otherwise, fighting games, Little Samson. There you go.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm a broken record. I've been playing more Splatoon. So it's a big deal, though, this time because the new update officially came out. I know I talked about it last week, so I won't spend too much time. But the new weapons actually feel kind of cool. Like, I think the Slosher, which is that bucket the one where you like throw the paint. It kind of
Oh,
it's really really good for the tower mode, because in the tower mode you kind of need to just throw crap at the people laying on it, and it kind of alleviates needing to worry about like with a paint roller and stuff, or like I guess even a gun, it's hard to just like nail something on an incline, and the slosher hits everything on that incline because you're just whipping paint out at people. And so that's actually been pretty neat. And they have another one that's like a charged up Gatling gun. And so like you hold the button down and it charges, and then you let it go and it's like
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. And then they actually said it's not just here's 2 new weapons. They said here's 2 new weapon types.
So do you get that minigun right away? Is it just unlocked for you?
Well, you have to buy it, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so like that's kind of some of the neat smaller changes. I mean, the slosher in the next update that's kind of been leaked, they have like 7 or 10 new weapons in those categories. So the slosher's getting like a 3 slip or whatever, 3-hole slosher or whatever. So we'll see how that works, and maybe they like kind of decrease the range, but it gets like a big burst in front. And then they have more Gatling gun stuff where they, and they change up the subs and the specials and stuff. So that looks pretty neat. I mean, they in that leak too, separate from this update, but in the leak that currently came out, they've also talked about the Octogals. I forget what they're called. Octolings, probably. Like the bad girls in the game might actually be playable characters in the multiplayer.
The Stay Fresh girls?
No, they're still squid people. The Octolings are the enemies.
My bad. All right. Okay.
So there's a slim chance that they might actually be playable like character models for the multiplayer, but
that's pretty. Yeah, it just makes you wonder if the NX is backwards compatible. I don't know what I'm trying to say with that.
Okay.
Just I don't know. I hope it is, because
I do too.
Splatoon's got a lot of updates, and it's worth keep going on the NX. It's worth to keep playing.
Yeah, and I thought that's where you were going with it. And I fully agree. I think Splatoon is like a game they need to support for a while, and eventually, either put out an expansion to Splatoon or make a second Splatoon. But like what it is, like at its core, is so well designed, I think, and it's so much fun that I really want to see more of it. And speaking on that too, like I mentioned it before, I tried to go back and see if Battlefield had, because I know it had like you could tilt the controller and it would do the lean around.
Oh yeah.
I was hoping that I could turn an option on where I could just tilt the controller and aim like that, like it does in Splatoon, because I honestly think that, and I was talking a little bit about this earlier today with someone, and I think that being able to take your gamepad and aim like this is a big step for how you treat console controllers, and like how you can get more fidelity out of aiming and give something new that really feels like it kind of changes the game a little bit. And I think the Steam controller is trying to do something similar to that too. Like I know people are kind of leery about the whole circle pad swipey perpetual motion thing.
Yeah,
but that was the best thing about Kid Icarus being on the 3DS. Was that you could swipe to the side and tap it and be like, boom, focused on where you're going. It kind of gave you a lot of precision and a lot of speed. And I think ideas like that and ideas like the Steam controller are really interesting, because it'd be nice to see an evolution on the console shooter in a sense of control. It'd
be cool if Battlefront did it.
Yeah, I'd be all over it. I almost wanted to like send them a message like, listen, you should do this.
Well, hey, you're gonna be at the conference. You can ask them.
Oh, no, it's on my mind. It's right here.
Okay, good.
But yeah, no, like so Splatoon's been really good, and they had the big change in the update is actually how leveling works. They completely changed it.
Was it Destiny?
Maybe, except for it was always okay in Splatoon, but so. The thing that they did in so before it was like you got the P points, not the P points, but you'd get your points for winning matches and covering ground and all that kind of stuff, and that would go into your total, and it would level your guy up. Now they changed it, so for every minute that you survive, you get 1 point. For winning the match, you get 2 points. And if it's a ranked mode match and you get a knockout where you win before the time expires, you get 10 points.
Okay.
And I think it's like 5 points for winning or something like that. So you could potentially score a few points, but they made it so it's like, it's not like, oh, get 643,842 P. It's you need 46. So they
That's
simplified
pretty cool.
how you got to think of it, but it also makes it so it's like, bam. Like, I don't know. I feel like the smaller numbers and you seeing like the gap on that is it's easier to tell how close you are instead of like, that's a lot of numbers. But it's also neat because like you can kind of get a sense of how much you've really got out of that match, I feel like.
That game must have sold pretty well if Nintendo's doing all these free updates. Or maybe they're just doing goodwill. One of the two.
I mean, it's a great game. People should play more of it. I was actually talking to a guy who came into the store, and I would not have expected all the conversations that we had, but one of them was, how cool is Splatoon, right? I was like,
that's cool.
All right, yeah, I'm going to talk about you. I'm going
to talk about you on my radio show tonight.
To you about this Splatoon, yeah. But I didn't play too much more. I mean, I know. Oh no, I take it back. I did play one other thing that's worth mentioning, because I kind of dinked around with some other stuff. But I got into the last day of the NHL 16 EA Sports Hockey League demo beta.
What a long name.
Yeah, so I always call it EASL because it's just EASHL. Yeah,
EASL.
EA Sports Hockey League. But yeah, so it gives you your first glimpse to how NHL 16 will work. But it doesn't give you a beta, or it doesn't give you a normal demo, and they're not going to. They said.
I wonder
So
why.
I don't know, because I think they need to after this, because I think there was enough lag in the matches that I'm not sure how that game controls, and because you're playing the hockey league and you're playing the so like before you could do it where you level up your character and you add points to all of your stat points.
Yeah.
And this one they said, well, that's stupid, because then you'll have a guy who has full stats and he's a perfect skater, perfect shooter, he's perfect at everything, and he just jumps into a match, plays any role, and he's good at it. And that's dumb. And everyone would be that, so everyone's the perfect player. So instead they were like, okay, you're playing defenseman. Are you a two-way defenseman? Are you offensive defenseman? Are you a I almost said power forward, but that's for obviously wings and stuff, but like you have your different sets for how actual players are. Like a real skater would be called a power forward or a sniper or something like that, depending how they play. And some people are like, well, a sniper isn't always a sniper, so this sniper is different than this sniper. It's like, hey guys, it's a video game, okay? Chill out. But it makes it so that your characters, because they're not great at everything, they have goods and bads. The skating doesn't feel good in some regards. It's really hard to make subtle motions. Like if you're a defender in front of the net and you're trying to just kind of stay in front of the play with someone coming in, it's really hard to do. And I don't know if it's just like, okay, I have to get used to the new engine that they built for skating and the momentum. But I don't know. Overall, it's awesome to see that feature back, because you're getting not just 1v1 multiplayer now. You're getting full like couch co-op / competitive online. Like you could do 2-on-2 like on consoles, and like you could do all of these things again that we had in 14. It might still be missing some of the pizzazz of it, but I don't know. I'm really skeptical, but I think there's good in there, and I'm excited to play NHL again. And then I played a lot more NHL 15 because of it.
Okay, fair enough.
But that's basically it. The rest of the stuff I piddled around with. Those are the two big ones. But what say, before we take a cool break, we run down this week's fancy new releases?
Cool.
All right. Well, I am stalling, talking slow while the page loads for the thing I just... Here we go.
Let's do this.
All right. So, okay. Because there wasn't any like big retail releases this week. So a lot of the stuff was like handheld, downloadable stuff. I think one of the bigger ones was actually Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, which is a kind of one of the bigger indie titles coming out for the PS4.
I really want to play that.
You know what comes out tomorrow?
What?
Gauntlet Slayer Edition.
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
I'm so excited. Let me just,
that's awesome.
I probably mentioned this before on here too, but like I think the new Gauntlet's really cool. I know old school Gauntlet fans are like, ugh. But to me, it was like a game based on how you played your character in a scenario, and it wasn't about like beefing him up, standing it up. It was just like, no, this player plays this way. Figure out how to use him during this, and it was really fun. So I'm gonna have to buy that tomorrow.
You know, I'm
doing it. I'm buying that.
Me and Haley played that Tomb Raider game, Legend of.
Oh, Osiris. It's okay.
Yeah, the puzzles are straight up Skylander puzzles.
Yeah, they kind of are.
So I was like, I don't know if I feel like doing this right now, but yeah, Gauntlet, I might pick that up because, hey man, dungeon crawlers are cool.
And
easy.
having it on a console with all the friends is
Easy.
is great.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. So yeah, so August 11th actually has a lot of downloadable stuff. Toy Soldiers, War Chest, those are always really good games. That's Xbox One, PS4, PC.
Yeah, I like those.
Paddington Bear, he's gonna be on that 3DS with his adventures in London.
Good. Wait for that.
Hacknet on PC is actually on the 12th. Goat Simulator hitting both PlayStation systems.
That game is something else, man.
Garfield Kart on the 3DS. I'm gonna have to try it. I love Garfield. Man. I love kart racers. It's gonna be bad. Actual Sunlight. I don't know what that is on the Vita. You have any knowledge on that one?
Which one?
Actual Sunlight.
It's gonna be it's Boktai. That's what it is.
Dude, if only. Boktai was sweet.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. But speaking of kart racers, really quick, did you ever play that one on the Wii? It was Kokoto Racing or whatever.
No.
It's probably really bad, but I want to play it.
Yeah, we should probably check it out.
All right.
And yeah, just to wrap it up, PC does have a couple things here. Centris is coming out on the 12th as well. On the 13th, you have Christopher Brookmeyer's Bedlam on everything, including that. Man. And the 14th is Super Mega Baseball Extra Innings on the Xbox One, because the Xbox has no baseball that's real. And that's kind of a bummer for everyone who doesn't own a PlayStation and can buy the show. You don't get your Major League, and you just get your RBI. I like the RBIs. I thought they were okay, but I like arcadey sports games.
Yeah, those are yep.
But yeah, that's your new releases for this week in August. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back with some awesome new headlines. Hey, Mr. Douglas.
Hey, Mr. Eddie.
I'm here to tell you
what?
Stuff about games.
All right.
Starting with the fact that they took Mr. Dinklage away. I don't know why I'm singing this.
I don't know. So, Wizards come from the moon.
Apparently they do, and they come and take your Dinklebot away. So Destiny recasted the Ghost, right? That's what he's called. The little Ghost
Guilty
bot.
Spark? Yeah, Guilty Spark.
Yeah. They recasted him. Did they say why they took Dinklage out?
I bet you.
They felt like he just didn't do a very good job, because that's probably why.
It's probably what Jeff Gerstmann said of, he's very expensive, he's very busy, let's get someone better and cheaper and not so busy.
Yeah, and they did say they wanted to get a little more like nuance and characterization out of it, but at the same time they're saying like, well, we still are directing him to kind of be similar to the guy we already had. So the part I'm failing to mention is that Nolan North will be your new Dinklebot. And the crazy thing to me, like, I thought he was just going to be the new Ghost in the expansion. They're doing the entire game all over again. Game, House of Wolves, that other expansion I forgot the name of, and the new one for Taken King. Dark Below. There we go.
Do you think they're redoing that when he flies around?
No, maybe it'll be PlayStation exclusive downloadable content.
Oh crap!
It'll be Nathan Drake skin for your Ghost.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's interesting because like me being like, I really like voice acting. I really like voice actors and stuff, and it'll be interesting to see how they make Nolan North do that character, because it sounds like they kind of want him to be similar but not. Yeah. And I want to see how he pulls it off, because the dude has some pretty decent range.
He does. I like him as Penguin quite a bit, actually. Hey, yeah, he was Batman.
Like, you can tell it's Nolan North when you know it's Nolan North, but if you didn't know it was Nolan North, you might not have caught it.
So this is what's interesting about all this. Remember the collector's edition of Destiny came with a ghost that has Dinklebot's voice? I mean... Does
it speak?
Yeah, you press a button and it talks.
Dingleberg!
Eggnog! So, that's weird. So that little robot you get is going to have his old voice.
Man, that is... I didn't even think about that.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see. And, yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it.
I want to like Destiny. I really do, but...
I don't know. It sounds like they're, like, while we're on Destiny, it sounds like they're doing a lot to try and
Yeah.
the story in the game and change the leveling. Like the Taken King sounds like it's doing a lot of work to just kind of just do it, you know?
Hey, you and I both know a handful of people that are back in.
Yeah, I'm
And they keep
really
going, "I gotta
interested to
do
be
it."
like, I mean, here's what I always think about Destiny, right? Gosh, apparently I keep hitting the plus button here. Go away.
Plus Destiny.
Ugh. So, okay. In Destiny, so whenever we play games online, I typically will never want to play a game that I want to pay attention to
Like
when
ODST?
you're around. Because
Me?
yes, because it's like you and a couple of buds, because it's not about like, oh, Doug. It's like
You idiot!
we all get excited and
Yeah,
we're just
okay.
talking to each other and not really paying attention to what's going on in the story. We just want to sit down, play a game, and it's basically like a conduit for us to have a good time while hanging out and talking about other stuff. So
Yeah.
Destiny to me was always like, why didn't we go back to Destiny? Because we think the gameplay is really good, right?
It really does.
And we don't care about the story at all.
Nope.
And the game doesn't want to tell you a story anyway. So I was like, man, why didn't we ever go back and like just play some Destiny? Because like if we enjoyed how it played, but we didn't care about anything inside of it, then we should be set. That's a perfect co-op game.
I mean, you could play Battlefield 4.
Yeah, well, that's true. Battlefield 4 is really good. And Star Wars Battlefront's going to stop me doing a lot of things.
Oh,
I played the crap out of that.
We could play Halo. Just kidding.
Actually, I'm going to play Halo 5 quite a bit, I think. Like Warzones has me pretty excited.
We'll see about that game.
It was funny, going back to Battlefield really quick. Today, I was talking to one of our regulars who obviously just people like to make stuff up a lot. It's really weird to me. This guy talked about how like I was like, oh man, Bulletstorm. He was trading it in. I was like, man, Bulletstorm. I should really go back and finish that one up. I heard it got really good at the end and blah blah. He goes, oh yeah, man, I modded mine though on my Xbox, so I could do this with it. Blah blah blah. I'm like, no, you didn't. Just don't. But at the end of it, like he was talking about Battlefield or something, and I was like, yeah, I was just waiting to hear about good old Sweetwater and the gang and get some Bad Company through. And he goes, oh yeah, man, that actually looks really good and stuff. I was like, see you later. Just leave. I was like, it's not a thing. Don't act like it is. Just say like oh, what? Oh, yeah. Jeez Louise. Just no. All right. Just no.
Yeah.
Speaking in other regions of the space, and specifically a galaxy far, far away. Star Wars Battlefront Fighter Squadron is the new mode that I predicted, and everyone should have just believed me because it's totally in the game.
Sorry, Eddie.
That's okay.
I can't think I probably believed you. It's probably like, oh, it's probably.
You did, because you understood that every Battlefield has had this mode.
Yeah.
So if you haven't heard, Fighter Squadrons is the mode where you spawn into a X-Wing or TIE fighter, and you're all aerial combat, just like I've been saying. So they're doing a full-on
awesome.
And the nice thing to me is that they're filling it with AI, because I played the stuff on Battlefield and everything, and it's like, okay, yeah, this works for dogfights and whatever, but it's a little slow paced and whatever, and that's kind of how Battlefield feels, a little empty and stuff.
Yeah,
but
if
like,
you want to call it that.
Star Wars is really all about shooting a lot of things.
Yeah,
and I'm glad they threw in some AI to kind of bulk it up some.
Thanks, Titanfall.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Because this kind of seems to be the big sticking point for a lot of people. So the X-Wings and the TIE Fighters have the same stats. And people are like, well, canonically, the TIE Fighters blow up easier because they're not as sturdy starfighters as the X-Wing who are built for that. So why are you doing it? And people are mad about it.
Video game with multiplayer balancing.
Yeah, like, exactly, right? Why would you want an unbalanced game? You would always lose as the Imperials because your ships suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the other side of it though, like, do people not realize that's how it's always been in Star Wars Battlefront?
I don't think a lot of people played Star Wars Battlefront as much as they say they did.
Right? It just feels like every time someone complains, like, oh, they're just reskinning Battlefield, it's like that's what Star Wars Battlefront was.
Oh, you're space battles. Not really. I mean,
the space battles too were just like a ground battle.
A ground battle.
I don't want to beat a dead horse with that, but like, hey, that aerial combat stuff looks awesome. It's the closest thing I'm going to get to a new Rogue Squadron, and I'll take it.
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
And actually, the next thing I had was exactly the part about how, yeah, TIE fighters and stuff are
Cool.
they suck, but they don't in this game, man. Whatever. I wonder if they're gonna do you know, I don't think they'll do Naboo starfighters, but I mean, I'm pretty pumped about Slave One and Millennium Falcon. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
No, I just wonder because like you see the A-wings and stuff in there. I wonder if they're gonna add like because some of the cool stuff about Rogue Squadron was getting into a Y-wing or a TIE bomber and having like bombing runs and all these missions like based around how those ships would work and utilize themselves. And I'm wondering if they'll do any of that kind of stuff. Like, hey, here's a TIE fighter, here's a TIE interceptor, here's a TIE bomber. And they'll have different stuff that maybe they'll do, like a kind of classes for the different ships. I think that'd be really neat.
Mm-hmm. Star Wars is pretty cool.
Yeah. So you're my go-to guy for all things Mighty Number 9 and Capcom related, apparently.
Yeah.
What's the deal with Mighty Number 9's delay? Because they said they finally came clean to. Wow, I'm gonna start over. Mighty Number 9 got delayed, and I still said Mighty Number 9. Mighty Number 9 got delayed recently, and finally Concept has come clean, and they said, hey, here's why. What's the deal with that? What's going on?
The multiplayer mode is messed up, so they're going to fix it. But most people don't care about the multiplayer mode.
There was a multiplayer mode?
Hey, you know what? I heard about that the first time a couple weeks ago, too, and did some research. It was a stretch goal on the Kickstarter.
Sure. Just add that later.
That's what a lot of people are saying. And like, if they came out and said, hey, we're a small studio, we can't edit it later, they would be like, oh, okay, that's fair. But they're just like, yeah, we want multiplayer, and people are really excited about it. We'll delay it.
What is the multiplayer? Like, what would you even be doing?
I think it's going to be like Mega Man and Base.
Wait, Mega Man and Base was multiplayer?
Am I thinking of something else?
I mean, I remember Mega Man and Base was like I thought that was single player where you chose kind of like your own adventure.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I think you could play at the same time together. Not in Mega Man and Base, but yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
That game makes me so nervous, but I'm excited about it, but I'm so scared by it.
You know what they should do with all this time off, since it is delayed till 2016 sometime? They should kind of beef up that art style a little bit more.
Hey, guess what? Capcom's loving it because they're now releasing that Mega Man collection on disc next year.
Oh, the Legacy collection that doesn't have all the stinking games?
Yep, they're releasing on disc now because they're probably like, ha! Mighty Number 9 ain't coming out.
Fantastic. They really should just get all the Mega Man games together. At this point, you're not even going to make a new one anyway. Just put them all together. Dude, Tron Bond, Legends 1 and 2. All the X's, all the originals.
You could fit every single Mega Man game on one Blu-ray, and that would be the best.
Yeah, they should just do that.
That makes too much sense.
I only put this next headline in here.
Screw Battle Network.
Yeah, I guess I forgot about the Battle Network and all that stuff. I know people really like those. I don't want to diss them too much, but I never cared about those.
Nope.
What was Battle Network and what was the other one? I like the ZX games, but
I need to play those more, I think.
Yeah.
I kind of got turned off by one of them. Maybe I should go back because you keep saying they're pretty good.
Yeah, the ZX ones were fine because they were basically Zero with Mega Man powers. I guess technically it was Mega Man with 0 powers. No, you were 0 because Mega Man was technically that guy.
Iris.
World of Warcraft's next expansion is Legion, and the main reason I wanted to bring that up is because when I was skimming some other articles earlier, apparently gosh dang it, apparently the subscription for World of Warcraft has come down quite a bit.
Yeah.
So they don't have as many players and stuff, and the reason I mentioned that is because apparently Square has actually been finding a lot of success after they put out the new Heaven's Ward, and I cannot say that one right. Heaven's Ward.
Heaven's Sword?
It's not Sword. It's Heaven's Ward.
Heaven's Ward.
Like I'm warding off danger.
Thank you.
It doesn't sound right.
I appreciate it.
I don't know, but they put out their expansion, and they've been having a lot of success with that, and think they had some other expansion thing. That's something that we're doing well with. But like, I'm wondering if this will kind of kick World of Warcraft back up a little bit. Because it seems like you don't hear about it as much, but I mean, it's probably just because it's so standardized. I don't know.
Yeah, still makes them a lot of money.
Well, yeah. And then the other thing Blizzard related was that they're posting job descriptions for Diablo stuff. Did you look into that at all?
Oh, they're looking for a new art director. Yeah.
They're gonna just remake Diablo 3 without rainbows.
Dude, we're not gonna get another Diablo for like another 10 years.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's fine.
We'll get more dungeon crawlers hopefully.
There's some StarCraft stuff coming out too.
Oh yeah, they have their new expansion coming out as well. That's the Protoss one?
Yes. And you know what? I really like StarCraft, but I'm so bad at it.
Oh, I'm terrible at strategy games. That's why I don't play them.
What is the expansion gonna be, like 40? I might pick it up. It's been a while since I played it, but those games are just fun. But I still think Warcraft 3 is the best. But maybe, I don't know.
I couldn't tell you.
Cool.
I didn't play any of them. Hey, you want to talk about some more terrible things in the news lately?
About Hulk Hogan or just in general?
Well, you can't mention Hulk Hogan. Then the WWE won't support us and everything.
Oh, sorry. John Cena all the way. Woo!
Yeah, John Cena foots my bill. Dude, I can't even think about John Cena right now. His broken nose is killing me. No, so Time Magazine's latest cover is horrible.
Gosh, yeah.
So Time Magazine released this cover all about the surprising joy of virtual reality and why it's about to change the world. And they have this guy. He's this dorkiest looking dude wearing a VR headset plugged into nothing, assuming and feeling like he's on the tropical beaches of something or another.
It looks so beautiful in here.
And all I can think of is, man, that's a bummer because it's just going to make it look kind of like a joke. And I think VR could be something really big.
And they made fun of people that play video games in the article, too.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, I thought we were past that point of living in your mom's basement, kissing your stupid, dumb face, playing Halo.
How do you kiss your face and play Halo?
I don't know. I think I was going to say something more offensive, but I changed it.
That's probably a good idea. So, like, what did they say though? Like, what exactly did they do? Like, anything specific? Or
it was really. I read something on NeoGAF really quick. It said something about living in the basement, like basement dwellers. It did say something like that. Yeah, and all the comments
not
were like,
even like a thing. Is it like? Has it ever really been that much of a thing?
No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe, but.
Yeah.
Look, man, people that read comic books still get that. It's weird that people that read comic books still have that stigma too, because I feel like nowadays superheroes, you still get like, ugh.
Dude, like everywhere I went at Unity, everyone had like a Batman shirt on. And I was like, I know you don't read Batman or like you don't get that invested in like the movies or whatever. You just think Batman's cool. Oh.
Like this guy was like, oh man, I wish you guys had the original like Batman logo, you know, the yellow and the black. Like, that's not original, but okay.
What is the original?
I think it was just, dude, I could be wrong. I think it's black and purple.
Isn't it just like a really big droopy bat?
I believe
like
so.
With his head on top?
Watch, it was black and yellow. I look like a prick.
Black and yellow, black and yellow.
I'm going to figure it out right now. But yeah, because, that was from Burton's movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, do you think that, like, the Time Magazine will do that stuff any favors though? Do you think that like it's going to hurt more? Do you think it's going to benefit any more?
The VR stuff?
Yeah, like that whole just kind of article about that stuff. They're trying to say like, oh, it's going to change the world, but like with that goofy presentation and their knock on gamers in general, do you think that will help like normal people be like, oh, well, but maybe this is something I can indulge in and not be a part of that weird world? Or do you think that's kind of more a detriment to the success that it could or could not have?
I don't know. It kind of just paints a picture of like, I don't want to see these nerds living in the tropical islands with their fat bellies. Like, I think that's all anyone's going to think.
We're all just fat bellies living on an island.
Can you see that?
Nope, sure can't.
No?
No, I just see a big light. You got it like right in your, just pull it back.
Well, it's kind of a small picture.
Well, okay, you're doing it again. You're just shining light in my eyes.
Well, hey, the original Batman logo is just a droopy Batman.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll just look. How about this? I'll just Google it.
Whoa. Yeah, the yellow didn't come till way later because there was this article that came out of like all the different Batman logos. I really like the Dark Knight Returns one because it's all fat. I like a
Yeah,
fat
I'm
Batman
okay with that one.
logo.
The next couple things I have are nothing too crazy, but I'll start with the Tony Hawk one. Tony Hawk got its new art style.
Yes, it did.
We are on opposite sides of the fence, I think. Like originally, everyone would agree it didn't look good. It just looked like some PS2 games slapped together on a PS4.
Yeah, but if it plays good,
So you were not a fan of the new art style.
I heard it looks better in motion, but it just looks weird because all the models look hyper realistic, and then there's just a black outline. Well, I wouldn't say hyper realistic, but
Yeah, I was gonna say
real
like
proportions.
I don't feel. Yeah, I mean they've always had real proportions. I don't think they've
Yeah.
ever been like weird animated characters. But I think it's like it's kind of like a half step between like that real person. Like it's kind of like it kind of makes me think of them slapping like actual camera shots of them people on like models of people because it has like a
Yeah.
realistic look but a cartoony vibe.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
but hey, if it plays good,
I'm loading up this picture of Tony Hawk right now.
you gonna play a Sweet Tooth in it?
Yeah, it definitely looks like they pasted pictures of these people on here though.
I know.
Wait, Sweet Tooth is in it?
If you pre-order on the PlayStation console, you get a Sweet Tooth.
I don't want to play a Sweet Tooth on a
Why
skateboard.
not?
That dude will break that board.
With his big old nasty Sweet Tooth belly.
If I'm gonna play as a fat guy on a skateboard, you know I'm playing as Officer Dick.
All right, fair enough.
But the other one got a big graphical showcase, I should say, not an upgrade or anything. But it's neat to see in the graphics department was Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. I don't know if you looked at the comparison shots they put out, but that is some really, really impressive stuff that they've done with this Fox engine. So
yeah, poor Kojima, man.
they basically Kojima built the Fox engine to be this universal, put it on all these consoles and just make everything the best it could possibly be. And if you looked at the PlayStation 4 versus the PlayStation 3 shot, like if I just showed you the PS3 shot, you'd probably think it was a PS4 game.
It looks good.
It looks that good. And the PC version looks really nice, and the PS4 version looks really close to that. It's very much like Battlefield 4, like so close, you know?
Yeah. You remember, speaking of graphic changes, do you remember when they changed the art style for Borderlands and everyone lost their minds?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay with it.
Oh, it looks like a kiddie game. Ah! And I was like, I don't know, it looks pretty cool to me.
I had a lot of friends not want to play Borderlands at all because it was cartoony.
Yeah.
And they played it, and they played it way more than I did, and I was much more excited for that game.
The game's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
It's funny. You can see my lighting change as the sun goes down.
Is the sun setting rapidly around you?
Yeah, it's crazy. Weird how the world works, right? The sun sets.
Yeah.
This is stupid.
And the last thing I had was, hey, Tomb Raider's got some tombs, and they're showing it, so...
Doom.
Tomb Raider's got to have some tombs. She's the rising Tomb Raider. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for news. We'll take a quick break here, and we'll come back with a brief discussion about I forgot the rising craziness of finding retro games, and just kind of getting a little bit more into what we were talking about earlier with hunting down games and the ridiculous price points and bottoming it out, all that kind of fun stuff. So we'll be right back with that after this quick break. And we're back discussing all sorts of ridiculous stuff. You want to buy a Super Nintendo game for $8,000? You feel free. Doug won't.
Nope, I sure won't.
Reproduce that thing.
I will reproduce it and then keep it because it's the same thing.
It's not the same thing. I mean, it kind of is, but it's not. It's not the same thing. Like you even mentioned earlier that you would not say like, "I own Little Samson. I got that game."
Yeah, I don't. I have Little Samson. It's a repro. I'd have to say that every time. Well, okay. Think of it. This is better than what I thought of earlier. It's like burning a CD. It's the same thing, but it's burnt. Like if you copy one of your music CDs, it's like I have it, but it's a burnt copy, or I have.
I would actually say that I don't feel that way though. Like me having a burnt CD does not make me feel like I own that CD.
Maybe it's different because it's a cartridge and there's like art to it, and they had to change stuff in it. I don't know.
Wait,
all I know.
I was saying that like both to me are not legit.
Oh
yeah, like me having a burnt CD, I don't feel like I own. Say, I know one I saw in here earlier when I was digging through stuff was Maze, one of Maze CDs. I don't own any Maze CDs, but I have them on a disc,
Okay.
But I don't feel like it's the same. Even if I printed a label and stuff, and I'm like, I don't really own this.
Yeah. Maybe that's different because with games you could say like, if you got an NES card, it's like I got it, but it's reproed.
Yeah, but like for example, you don't own any of those Philips CDI Zelda games.
Nope, they're bootlegged all the way. And you know what? People sell those bootlegged ones on eBay, but because there was a guy watching YouTube, he's like, yeah, I bought a Zelda game on eBay, but apparently I didn't read the print enough because it's totally a bootleg. It's like, oh, that's funny.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, people do that all the time. But I don't know. So, dude, do you think, okay, with how retro games are getting so expensive, especially like NES and Super Nintendo, which Genesis hasn't really jumped up, which is weird. Maybe because they released so many collections. Because remember that Xbox collection that was really good? Came with all those Genesis games?
Yeah.
And PlayStation's kind of getting there. 64 is. Holy crap. Some 64 stuff jumped up big time. Do you think it's ever going to bottom out? You think we'll have a moment where all those guys that think, oh, man, remember Mario 64? And they buy it, and then they go, why do I have all this? Do you think that'll ever happen and prices will bottom out again?
It's tough because everything comes in such big waves, but like the further you get away from it, the harder it's going to find or be to find. And like, I don't know, like it might like kind of bottom a little bit, but eventually it's all just going to be super rare and hard to get.
Yes, that's what's tough because Atari stuff ain't worth jack. Like those games are 50 cents a piece, unless there's a few here and there. But I think maybe Atari is different than Nintendo because Nintendo is still relevant and around, and people have more nostalgia for that than Pac-Man on the 2600.
But also, like, yeah, the Atari didn't have like a giant impact. In fact, it had a very negative impact for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Almost destroyed the whole industry as we know it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's crazy to think the spike in prices for things that Nintendo's games are always probably going to be this way with how they are now because they don't really release a whole lot of stuff.
No, even GameCube's
like,
expensive.
Quantity, it's just they don't have a lot of quantity out there, and you'll have quality games that didn't get released a whole lot because people didn't really pay attention to them because they're too busy playing the Sable stuff or something, or some other crazy reason where like, oh, no one really knew what this game was, and yeah, so I don't know. I think it's going to be an ever fluctuating thing, but I don't think it's going to get that much better. Like it'll get crazy because you have the people like, oh, 64, I grew up with that, and then it'll come back down, and then it'll just kind of be kind of high for a long time.
Yeah, and
things. It'll go back to being weird.
And I can't give people crap if they're like, I want to play that, but I'm not going to pay that, so I'm just going to buy this repro card. It's like, okay, that's fair. I wouldn't want to pay $300 for that either, but it's some games you kind of have to do that, and that's crazy that some games have gotten so expensive.
Yeah, and I mean it's basically just like it's a fancy version of emulating through hardware, I guess, but at least you get to play something cool instead of like saying, well, I guess I'll just watch it on YouTube. Yeah,
I'll watch it on YouTube or emulate it on my computer. It's like, no, you put that cart in your NES and you're good to go. You can buy this stuff to do it because what you plug it in your computer, it dumps the ROM from your cart, and you can clear the memory on an NES cart and then dump something back on there. But I guess some games you have to like splice wires in it. I don't know. It's crazy, but all that stuff's really expensive. But if you know a guy, then you're good.
I suppose so.
Yeah. Oh, it's a weird world of game collecting out there. And do you think PS3 games are going to be rare? Like, do you think there'll be like collecting for PS3 and 360 games later down the road?
Not really. I feel like those prices, like outside of like a couple games, those prices they're always going down. Yeah. And there's so many of them. I never felt like anything was really a shortage on that console. Like I said, there's a few here and there that they're hard to track down, and even games like NCAA 14, like some of those sports games where they said this is the last one you'll ever see. Like those will spike high for a little while. But I don't know. I mean, I don't think they'll be too crazy. But I could be totally wrong. Maybe it'll take forever and be like, whoa, that game used to be like $1, and now it's like $50.
Oh, so, man, Resistance Fall of Man. I bought that for 99 cents.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I did want to, I guess, before we wrap it up here, I did want to just talk a little bit about the Invitational. I mean, getting a little bit more into, because the Dota Invitational was there, what was it, $6.6 million that was the pool?
Yeah.
And a lot of it came from the actual Dota community. So that's pretty crazy. But
yes, it is.
Do you? I always saw a couple friends kind of talking about this stuff, and obviously we talked a little bit about how some of the world perceives these things with the Time Magazine piece. But do you think that esports are like a viable thing? Do you think that they deserve the kind of this big attention? Do you think that people are right to assume like, these aren't really like sports, we shouldn't be like broadcasting them, it should just be like this a YouTube thing or something? How do you feel about esports?
I think they are, because I mean, if you consider chess a sport, I mean, why can't certain video games be a sport? It's just a different type, you know?
Yeah.
And people that go, oh, those nerds. It's like, well, yes, they're not running around with a football, but sometimes you have to have such fast reflexes and reaction time to some stuff that it's kind of impressive watching those guys play Dota and StarCraft, because it's crazy how fast those guys play.
Because the argument that we've talked about before was that people don't consider it a sport. I don't think anyone would consider it an actual sport. Let's not be crazy, right?
No.
Like, that's, and you're right, it's like chess, poker, all that stuff, those aren't sports.
No.
But they're featured as sports things. Like, hey, if this is a sport, if this is a sport where I go, huh, I have a couple of cards here that I got randomly like given to me. Like, poker's a game about, like, you kind of know your percentages and you know your probabilities, right? It's just a numbers game in a sense.
Yep.
How is that any different than something like Dota, where you're going against matchups? Poker's a game about matchups. Like, do you think you have the right cards to match up what you think is still left in the deck? Do you have the right character to match up with this other character when you hit these lanes? Like, it's a thinking man's game, and it's still it's a thing. And I think those things are viable. Like, you have bars dedicated around these things and events, and they're big deals. So I think they should be given this kind of support, and I think it's really cool that they're making it into a mainstream way. I mean, with Twitch, with YouTube now, with their YouTube gaming, and them being on like ESPN, the Ocho or whatever they're on. I think it's awesome. I don't understand the hate for it all, I guess.
But I do think a lot of their game handles are stupid.
Yeah, I've never been one to think that you should go by a moniker. That's why I always say my actual name with a moniker, because I understand it's like a funny radio thing, but I'm still Eddie Fisher.
Yeah, you don't go, hey, Dick Douglas, what do you think of Little Samson? It's like, no.
Yeah, I don't know. It's always just been a weird thing to me, like going by a moniker. Like, I get like a nickname that someone giving you like through the sport, like, you know, Big DZ or something. Like, if everyone called you that because of something that happened, it just kind of caught on.
But not Cheesy Rice Gamer.
Yeah, like, I always think that's really weird. And I'm reading an article. It's like, yeah, at the Invitational today, Not Your Mom's Milk won. And I was like, who's
against Pumpkin Patch?
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, just use your real name at that point. Like, I get it, like, get it as your persona when you're playing and stuff, obviously. But I feel like maybe you should use your real name when you, like, win the trophy or whatever.
Yeah, you don't want a trophy in your wall that says Cheesy Milkman. Like, or when you want to say Hank. I don't know.
Maybe they think that's really awesome. Like, hey, I got my name, Cheesy Milkman XXX, right on there.
69,420.
Yeah, you know? Well, Doug, do you have one last thing for me before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I've got the edit question.
All right, what you got?
Why are cucumbers, when they're pickled, called pickled, but when other things are pickled, how come they're not called pickles? How come it's just a cucumber?
Well, cucumbers aren't called pickles. They're just called pickled cucumbers.
Well, no, it's straight up pickles, son. It's like, give me them pickles. It's like, well, you pickle other things. Like, why? How come the cucumber gets special? Okay.
Never mind, I don't know. I was going to say that, like, pickling is like a process of something.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's weird.
I'll go ask Sarah after the show because she'll know the answer. She loves food.
It's just weird. He's like, oh, man, hand me those pickles. I'm like, no.
Hey, guys, that's some food.
Yeah, there you go. Think about that with that stupid noise at the end.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in again. I will. I'll after this. I actually did have all the stuff that I will be able to get my hands on and play for my conference in only 3 weeks now. So I will edit that in afterwards because I don't have the sheet of paper on me. I will have to go get it, and I will post it in the edited video for Wednesday night, tonight, or whenever you're watching this.
Whatever.
But yeah, so I'll edit on in there, and please continue to send anything you want to see. Facebook, Twitter, the smoke signals. Wow.
Smoke signals. Pigeon carriers.
I'll see it. There it is.
Dude,
Xbox.
what if someone...
I'll check it out.
Someone could send you some pickled... Wait, aren't pickled cucumbers and pickles different? They are. What's your opinion on that?
They're both gross.
Yeah, all right, cool, good.
All right, well, there you have it, everyone. Thanks again, and we'll see you guys on the next level.